Hello everybody, Rechief here once again, and welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, Prosecutor's Path, episodes 1 through 5, beta. As you can see, I've added a new little UI element to the bottom of the screen there. I did that because I had another crash earlier today, and so I'm going to be monitoring my computer's temperature again. And I thought it might be fun if you guys went on the journey of panicking about this with me. So, if you look at the very bottom there, you can see my CPU. It's an AMD FX 4170, and it is currently running piping hot at about 148 degrees. The goal is that we want to keep the temperature below 170. Because, like, somewhere in the 170 to 180 range is when my computer automatically shuts off because the CPU has gotten too hot. So right now it's at about 150. I'm going to hope that it stays there as I play, but I guess we'll see. And you'll be able to see too. Won't this be fun? Anyway, really the goal, the actual goal of this video is I want to try to finish this case tonight. My plan is to just keep playing until I finish the case. And, you know, if the video winds up being like an hour long or whatever, then so be it. Of course, if it gets kind of egregious, then I might have to stop. But hopefully it won't come to that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Last time we started chatting with Warden Roland because Edgeworth thinks she might be the killer. And this time we're going to keep going on that train of thought. We're going to see if we can get her with some of her testimony. Get her to admit to her misdeeds. Here we go. I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogan. I have no idea what transpired between Dogan and the victim. It simply could have been that Dogan was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it is a truly terrible thing. Taking a man's life, you mean? That's how you'd go about saying it, isn't it? If only I had been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. That's why I want to clear up his regrets. Warden Roland, how considerate. I'm sure Mr. Knightley in heaven is overflowing with gratitude. Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? Alright, here we go. I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogan. You seem very confident of that. How could you be so sure? The children of this home are all good little boys and girls. Believe in yourself, believe in your friends, and believe in me and the guards. There is no way any of these hard-working children could have committed a murder. Quite an emotional reason. Makes sense coming from someone like her. Only Dogan would be capable of something like that! I love that sprite. That's a nice sprite. I have no idea what transpired between Dogan and the victim. Knightley was being held in the detention center, and Dogan was in the prison. They couldn't make any contact. Don't you think that would have prevented trouble? The prison is quite confined, right? There were many ways for them to meet. Knightley was murdered days before he would have been sentenced to prison. Surely there weren't many ways a meeting could have occurred. Even without a direct meeting, Dogan can still cause trouble. Mark my words. It simply could have been that Dogan was displeased with him. Oh, whoops. I forgot to press that. Let's go back. What could Knightley have done in the detention center to displease him? That was just an example. You don't have to take it so seriously. Didn't I already say that I have no idea what transpired between them? Nevertheless, you certainly are a serious one, Edgeworth dear. What's this? That piercing gaze. Always standing straight and stiff. Very nice. Looking very clever, my dear. I think I'm about to become your biggest fan. Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused. It's just a flesh wound. Right. Is this some form of psychological warfare? In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. I forgot to press myself again. Here we go. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. During his booking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Booking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention center. It sounds like you don't really know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dogan. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even have had a chance to scream. I see. Your opinion will be a very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony? Aw, you're making me blush. You're so C-U-T-E. I'm just kidding. I'll continue. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. Oh, I see. I gotta press because she shouldn't have known about that. Bam! Oh good, I got it right. No, Warden Roland. You certainly are sharp-witted. Hey, enough with the titles. Call me Patty. P-A-T-T-Y. Yeah. However, there's something we're a little too knowledgeable about. Embarrassed? You're such an inexperienced child, Edgeworth, dear. Yeah. Fight on, Mr. Edgeworth. You said you didn't really know much about Knightley. If that's the case, how did you know about the chisel inside the chessboard? Oh, of course, the entrance check. Enough with the poor excuses. The entrance check. The chessboard wasn't something Knightley brought with him. It was brought to him later by Mr. Keyes. He didn't even have it when he arrived here. That's my mistake. I meant the parcel check. Even if we assume that, there are still many suspicious points. Why wasn't such a chisel immediately confiscated? Judge Courtney, did you tell anyone about the trick to this chessboard? I did not. If no information about our investigation was leaked, then how did you find out? You could not have examined this during the entrance check or parcel check. Certainly. Someone in the warden's position would never have let a chisel slip by. Exactly. So answer this, Warden Roland. When and how did you learn about the chessboard secret? In that case, I shall answer for you. It is because... I give up, Edgeworth, dear. It is as you say. I interrogated Knightley. That's how I learned about the chessboard. But, please believe me, I didn't kill anyone. Enough. It would appear that we have uncovered some vital information. I'll ask you to testify once more, if that's all right with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. No objections here. Thank you, Edgeworth, dear. I'll do my best. Well then, Warden Roland, I trust there will be no lies from here on out. Her pool of lies is slowly running dry. Soon I shall bring out her true nature. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. She's piling lies on top of lies, not realizing that it only tightens the noose around her neck. You speak with the new prisoners, you say? That's right. I'm glad you understand. Your testimony is not solid evidence. It requires more than just understanding. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. You're certain you interrogated him the day before the show? Yes, around 3 a.m. on the 27th. 3 at night? That matches the time of death on Knightley's autopsy report. You summoned him that late at night and he wasn't asleep? Well, a guard was attacked in Knightley's cell, remember? After that incident, we checked his cell and inquired about the circumstances. I'm sure all that excitement made it hard to sleep. Knightley was wide awake, you know. So even though it was highly irregular, you still carried out this late-night interrogation. Excuse me. Edgeworth, dear, you're so mean. It may have been irregular, but the truth is, I had him moved. You can call it what you like, it still doesn't change the facts. Please excuse him. I'll give my incompetent apprentice a good scolding later. There we go. But for now, mademoiselle, what did you mean when you said you had him moved? I thought it was obvious, monsieur. I spoke to him in my office. Her office? The route she used to move Knightley's body. Please add that statement to your testimony. Of course. Around 3 a.m. the day before the show, the victim was brought into my office. Now, is there anything we can do with that right now? Maybe this? Shit. Warden Roland, that statement you just made is contradictory. Oh, is there something strange about it? Yes, this evidence. No! Her glare is terrifying. I'll have to think things over a little more before jumping to conclusions. Okay. Oh, whoops, I didn't actually want to do that. What's this? Okay. Well, let's press it. And where is your office located exactly? You know that sign in the detention center hallway? You mean the one that says no entry? Yes, it's just a short walk up that aisle, about 5 minutes from the cell block. I've heard that room exits into the courtyard. Of course, that side of the courtyard is my private garden. Oh, I get it. You're going to say I used that route to move the body. Indeed, you must have been able to use it. If you use that route... For now, that is merely a possibility. There is no decisive evidence to support it. But there is no other way the body could have been moved. Surely you haven't forgotten my theory that Simon Keyes dropped the body in the well. That's right! That's right! What she said! Pursuing this point further would be hazardous. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. Let's go back to this, right? Okay, so they wouldn't have added that, I feel like, if they didn't want us to present something. Do we just need to do we have like a map? Do we have floor plans? Maybe we gotta present the floor plans so we can be like, you know, clearly this is the only do. Nope. Okay, I'm just fucking myself over. Warden Roland, what do you think of this piece of evidence? What do I think? Well, what do you think? Ah, yes, is that it? I think so too. What do you think? It's utterly ridiculous. I wholeheartedly agree. Ugh, it seems I was mistaken. Okay. Well, let's keep pressing. What did you talk about? What indeed? It was just trifling conversation. What kind of animals he liked, what his hobbies were, that sort of thing. Hobbies? I assume he mentioned chess. Oh yes, that's all Knightley would ever talk about. Now that I think about it, the note he had in his room, it probably had something to do with chess too. So Warden Roland saw Knightley's note. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. And what was Knightley like during the interrogation? He was very honest. Mr. Knightley was... honest, pal! He also talked about a croissant and some kind of promo. En passant and chess piece promotions, I presume. Looks like he was his usual chess-loving self. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. If he really returned to his cell, there's no way he would be a corpse now. I know you're suggesting that I killed him during the interrogation, but I couldn't possibly have had a motive to kill Knightley, could I? Dogan was the only one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. She only hated Dogan. Please add that statement to your testimony. Okay. Dogan was the one I hated, and he had... oh, I see. And he had no connection with the victim. Well, what do you think about... it's this, right? What do you think about this? That's just funny every time. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to have a look at this. It looks like a record of a chess game. Is there something wrong with it? This was discovered in the victim's cell. It was Knightley's memo. Warden Roland, you also discovered this note in the very same place. And not just in Knightley's cell, but in Dogan's too, correct? What are you... Don't say that you don't know about the chessboard in the special cell. That is such a great animation. After all, you would have kept an eye on Dogan's actions down to the smallest details. No, to be more precise, it wasn't Dogan that you needed to keep an eye on. The warden was searching for Mr. Dogan's henchmen. From the start, I found it strange that the warden interrogated the prisoners personally, since he used his henchmen to threaten harm to her family. Warden Roland interrogated Dogan to expose them. So, what are you saying? As you inspected Dogan's mail, you must have known that he played correspondence chess. And then Knightley appeared, with a chess memo in hand. We deduced that he and Dogan were connected. You must have arrived at the same conclusion as well. However, you went one step too far in your reasoning. You thought Knightley was one of Dogan's henchmen, who had come to kill you. So, that's why you interrogated Knightley, boy. If the boss won't crack, go after his henchmen. In addition, you discovered something when you interrogated him. Inside his chessboard, you found a portable chisel. The murder weapon. To Warden Roland, the chisel was a symbol of Dogan, and that was the final straw. You believed Knightley was one of Dogan's henchmen, and you killed him. It seems there would be no rebuttal. Judge Courtney, your verdict.
Though it is incredibly unfortunate, there seems to be no room for doubt. I shall announce my verdict for the murder of Horace Knightley. Twice my sacred verdict has been interrupted. Who was that? Warden Roland.
Oh, how strange. You guys really don't understand anything. It would seem the one who doesn't understand is you. Me? Oh, I understand one thing very well. There is a huge contradiction in your logic, Mr. Edgeworth. Once she's cornered, she starts spouting nonsense. Pay it no heed. Judge Courtney, your verdict.
I am interested in hearing... Excuse me. I am interested in hearing what the warden has to say.
What?
I thought so. I just have one thing I want to say.
One?
Please take a good look at the autopsy report. The autopsy report? The one I brought with me. I heard exactly what you said earlier, Justine, darling. You said the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches.
No way.
Could that tiny chisel really have made a wound 4 inches deep?
Impossible!
How could I have made such an error? Oh, forgive me, goddess of law.
Well, I believe that overturns your hypothesis. What'll you do now, Mr. Edgeworth?
What'll we do?
It'll be all right, pal. Mr. Edgeworth always. Whoa, hey now, he's gone all white. Hey, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? Isn't there something you could do, pal? Do that turnabout thing. Make some earth-shattering objection. Uncle Ray's a hard worker, but without decisive evidence, we're just whipping a dead horse here.
Does that mean it's hopeless?
The true killer is Warden Roland. If it's not her, then nothing that's happened fits. But the chisel isn't the murder weapon. Are there any other sharp objects here? Well, let's look at our evidence. Oh! Oh! The stake from the rope. The other one's missing. Oh, I bet that's it. Okay.
There are still many mysteries remaining in this case. However, we do not have the evidence to solve them at this present time. We have no choice but to continue this battle in the courtroom.
Objection!
That would just give the killer a chance to destroy evidence.
Are you mocking the court?
No, I didn't mean anything like that. You look perplexed, Miles. Thought of anything yet? The chisel is not the murder weapon. In that case, what is? It's no use. We're back to where we started.
No objections, Prosecutor Edgeworth. By the way, any baseless statements will be punished accordingly.
It's no good. I can't think of anything. I need more time. I regret to say, I have no...
No! Mr. Edgeworth, remember what Mr. Shield said. If we give up, Simon will... Have you forgotten that sad look on his face? He was the one who suffered most from Knightley's death. If we can't save him, who will? Besides, Simon believes in us. So, we can't give up.
Okay. Miles, looks like you found a good partner. It's like little Case says. Whenever you're backed into a corner, think of your client. Keep fighting until the very end. Isn't that the feeling you're getting? Gregory, your old man. No matter what trouble he faced, he would always turn things around and save his client. You got his blood in you, right? In that case, you're the only one who can turn this around. Judge Courtney.
The look in your eyes has suddenly changed. If you do intend to speak, you'd better be prepared to face the consequences. Your logic thus far has been misplaced numerous times. If this were to happen again, I will consider you unfit to call yourself a prosecutor. And you will hand over your badge.
That's right. My reasoning about this case has indeed been misplaced numerous times. Have I made a grave miscalculation? Wait, my logic is misplaced?
Still silent. I cannot condone this waste of time. Well then.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Mr. Edgeworth! I will announce my verdict.
That's it. I have to turn my logic around. My logic isn't misplaced, it's been misled.
This court finds the defendant, Simon Keyes.
Isn't it a little early to hand down a verdict?
I actually think it's rather late. Don't you agree, Justine, darling? Enlighten us.
What? Try to remember. The eyewitness account about his dog and his absence from the animal show. When I first heard that information, my suspicion immediately fell on Dogan.
I'm amazed you take such pride in retelling your previous failings.
But, was that not the killer's aim? What if we assumed that was What if we assumed that was their intention from the start? Of course, the chisel served the same purpose. Knightley's body was stabbed in the same spot with multiple sharp objects. This shows that he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon was removed. By soaking the chisel in Knightley's blood, the killer wanted to mislead us into thinking the chisel was the murder weapon. Why? That's because... Why did the killer want us to think the chisel was the murder weapon? Warden Roland, you made use of this chisel's image.
Chisel's image? What are you trying to say?
Mr. DeBest, when you see this chisel, what does it suggest to you? Something like, Dogan's the killer, right? Now do you understand? That was the Warden's aim.
Ah, she wanted us to suspect the person with the chisels.
Indeed, that was a plan from the very beginning. To make Sirhan Dogan out to be the killer.
I understand your logic. It is true the warden did not think kindly of Dogan. But you understand, don't you? This alone does not prove she is the killer.
As I thought, it's not enough. The remaining chance is for me to find the real murder weapon.
If you have no more evidence, I believe this conversation is over.
I could prove it if I found the real murder weapon.
It doesn't matter what you say. We did a clean sweep of this place.
It is as Sebastian says. In the end, we could not find any weapons. In other words, such proof is impossible.
No, the murder weapon must still be somewhere in the prison. Oh, the alligator. As long as this exists.
The security gate.
You remember its name after all.
Are you mocking me? It's because of those things that you can't take metal objects in or out of this place. Ah.
Right. As long as those security gates exist, the murder weapon should still be here.
That also means no weapon could have been brought into the prison. In the end, we're back to that same mystery after all.
Judge Courtney.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, surely you've realized, if the real murder weapon is still in the prison, one must also consider how it got there in the first place.
The chisel was concealed within the chessboard, but the chisel is not the real murder weapon, which means the real murder weapon must have been smuggled in somehow.
The way it was smuggled in, can you prove that?
Ugh. How Warden Roland brought the weapon into this prison. You had evidence transferred from the precinct.
Yes, we borrowed all the evidence concerning Dogan.
I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but... That's it! She could have used that! This shows another way a weapon could be brought into the prison. Huh. Well, I mean, what? What do you want me to present to show that that's the case? What the fuck do you want me to present? I don't know. Man. I don't know. Like, what do you want me to present to show that, you know, that she was having evidence brought in from the police? I'm assuming that's what you want. God, I don't know. Oh, whoops. Man, I'm really stumped. Huh. I just present something random and see if I can get a hint, I guess.
Professor Edgeworth, so that's how you bring metal objects into the prison.
Indeed. With this, even something metal could be...
Exactly how does that let metal objects be brought into the prison?
What? You really can't use that to bring metal objects into the prison?
Professor Edgeworth, I'm disappointed in you. Sorry to let you down.
So, there really isn't a way to bring metal objects into the prison?
No, there is a way besides sending it in a package. And this shows that method.
Well then, Professor, show it to us.
I'm not sure if I should say this in front of Kay. This shows another way a weapon could be brought into the prison. Okay, maybe the tunnel? Could it be the tunnel? Ugh, God. If this is how I lose this case, I'm going to be really upset with myself. There's a way to send metal objects. I don't know. Maybe this? Oh my god. See, okay, I presented that because I thought, like, maybe they were saying, oh, well, when Simon was bringing stuff in... Fuck, man. I have no idea what you want me to present. This sucks. Wait, how old is he again? 24. Huh. Ugh, God, whatever. Yesterday Dogan said this. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom-made, attached to my knife and Anubis' collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Excuse me. I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. Okay. Okay, yeah, I just forgot that because I've been recording this over the span of several days. It's possible the murder weapon was brought in as confiscated evidence. Yeah, I know.
What?
Dogan's knife was confiscated and stored on the premises. Furthermore, a bell was attached to the knife.
It can't be. The bell on that chisel.
Exactly. The killer took it from the knife and reattached it to the chisel.
But the only fingerprints on the chisel are Knightley's.
The killer probably wore gloves when they made the switch. She made the chisel out to be the murder weapon by attaching Dogan's bell, and in doing so made Dogan appear to be the culprit. Furthermore, the handling of the set of evidence that this bell originally belonged to was only possible for someone with the proper authority.
Who, sir? Who had that authority?
Why don't we ask the warden what she thinks?
You can find bells anywhere. Anyone could have attached it, right? I see. So you don't know. These bells are Dogan's trademark. There are only 2 in the world. What? And so, attaching the bell would naturally make you the killer. Do you have evidence that I have the knife? You don't, do you? Of course, I understand. In that case, Mr. DeBest, I'd like to request an investigation immediately.
But if you find it, it'd be problematic for me.
That doesn't matter now. It is necessary that we reveal the truth. You're a prosecutor, are you not?
Well, even if you say that...
Curse this useless prosecutor. If only I still had investigative rights.
Besides, we can't investigate without the warden's permission, right?
There's no way she would approve. We have no choice but to investigate ourselves. If you don't have evidence, there's no use in continuing this conversation.
The goddess of law does not smile upon those with no evidence. This will have to be continued in the courtroom.
Not good. If we give the warden more time here, she'll definitely destroy the evidence. It seems like I have no choice but to raise an objection and stall for time. But I don't have anything definite. Is that really acceptable? Is it really like me to do something this reckless? No. Not good. Now is not the time for hesitation. Right now, I'm not a prosecutor, but an attorney's assistant. I need to protect my client. I'm the only one who can save him now. In that case, even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I have to take it. It's sink or swim. Should I raise an objection? It almost feels like I've turned into a certain bluffing defense attorney. But right now, I can't come to a standstill here.
Hold it!
Prosecutor Edgeworth, what now?
I just realized something.
What would that be, pray tell?
Naturally, the whereabouts of the real murder weapon. Dogan's knife. Okay, so I was a little far off with the stake, but still, I still think it's in the alligator.
Mr. Edgeworth, is that really true?
Yes, though it is a lie.
I find that hard to believe. This isn't a bluff, is it?
You underestimate me. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary. Ugh, this is bad for my heart.
There's no way you could know, because such a thing doesn't even exist. Well then, could you enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon?
Think. Somewhere the police didn't look. A blind spot in this animal-filled prison. A hiding place the warden would have complete confidence in. Hiding place? Come to think of it. It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. That's a cool hint. The same method? No. It couldn't be, could it? But there aren't that many ways to hide things from an investigator's eyes.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting?
It's possible, but I'm taking a big gamble here. The place where the real murder weapon is hidden is here. Wonder if I probably don't have to have it exact, but let's try to get exact anyway.
Here, in the courtyard.
Indeed.
That's not enough information. Please show us in more detail.
Where is the real murder weapon hidden? That's it. Back then.
Huh?
What's the matter, detective?
It looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator.
Really? Why?
Of course. That's why the metal detector reacted. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to take a look at this.
The chisel.
Wasn't that just the fake murder weapon? Dogan hid this chisel inside his dog's mouth, and the real murder weapon was hidden very much the same way. The real murder weapon is in the pond, inside the alligator.
What? What?
We can confirm that the metal detector reacted to the alligator. Judge Courtney, please have the insides of the alligator examined.
I give my consent. We'll have to call a veterinarian. I can make that little girl open her mouth. Can I help?
Yes, go ahead. Warden Roland. Discovering the real murder weapon will settle this matter once and for all. Why don't you do the honorable thing and confess now?
Why would I have to what would I have to confess? In that case, you can just wait for your fate to be sealed.
Ah, we found it, sir.
Just where you said it would be.
It's over. Patricia Roland, the real murder weapon is none other than Dogan's knife. And the one who murdered Horace Knightley can only be you. Dogan was the evil one. I didn't do anything wrong. It was completely reasonable. That guy was one of Dogan's henchmen. Him. If only he had never come to my home. I could at least still be happy. My special paradise. He ruined it. All of it. Him. That Dogan assassin. Him. Wow.
Mr. the best of the best. We have the results.
The best of the best. Looks like even the forensics officers have it tough.
We found traces of Knightley's blood on Dogan's knife. It was just like you said. You're the best, Mr. the Best. All right. Good job. But don't stop there. Keep the praise coming. Yes, sir. You're so incredible it brings tears to my eyes.
From sorrow.
Well done, Sebastian. Next comes the follow-up investigation.
Huh? What are you talking about, Justine? Hasn't the case been solved already?
We have not yet confirmed if Knightley truly was one of Dogan's henchmen. There is also a chance that Warden Roland jumped to conclusions.
Oh!
That is the remaining uncertainty in this case.
Anyways, let's keep investigating. Hey, you there, come with me. Since I'm the best, the truth will appear before me first. When that moment arrives, make sure you don't miss it. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to witnessing your first-rate ability. Let's go!
We live in troubling times, wouldn't you agree? The would-be assassin of the president was found murdered in the prison.
Knightley had not planned to assassinate the president.
The truth is not as vital as you seem to believe it to be. Not to the world,
And not to the law.
That can't be right! Believe what you will. However, as long as Prosecutor Edgeworth remains a prosecutor, it is an inescapable reality.
A prosecutor is not someone who demands a guilty verdict. That is what I believe.
Those are merely your values. The law is not the plaything of any one person. If you will not submit to that, you would do well to prepare for the consequences.
What's that supposed to mean, pal? Don't tell me you're gonna...
Now then, this is where I must take my leave. Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Judge Courtney is right. The law should not serve any one person's desires. However, if the truth is bent as a result of that, can that really be called justice?
Ah, Simon!
Boss!
What happened? They said you could come out already?
Oh, well, honestly, I don't know for sure. All of a sudden, they were like, you're free to go, and you should thank Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, that's because he found out who the real murderer was.
Really? He did? Mr. Edgeworth. No way. Even if you glare at me like that, it's useless. I'm innocent after all. You can't make me guilty.
Salmon, you should thank him, you know.
You're right.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you too.
Good grief. Mr. Defense Attorney, can I ask you just one more question?
Yes, you may, but I'm not a defense attorney.
I thought that Knightley and I were friends. No, I mean best friends. I always thought we were...
You don't think so anymore?
Well, I'm just wondering. There were some things I had no idea about. Like how he could hate someone enough to kill them. That's why... Maybe he never trusted me either.
Simon, that's not true.
You're lying! Because if I had known, I could have stopped him. I would have told him he had no need to be angry with anyone.
Mr. Keyes. Mr. Keyes, I don't think he disliked you either. Let's show him proof that Knightley trusted him.
Take that! That's what I gave to...
Knightley hid a chisel inside it, most likely to aid in his escape.
Escape? He used me?
He trusted in you. He knew you'd bring it to him without looking into it and without question. And in doing just that, you were caught up in everything.
Knightley, you idiot!
Looks like he gets it. Salmon is not as dumb as he looks after all. I'm sure he'll be back to normal by tomorrow.
Was that supposed to be a compliment?
Oh, I'll be strong. I'll become a splendid wild animal tamer for Knightley's sake.
Excellent. That's the spirit. God. That's awful.
I almost forgot. If you'd like, please come to our next show. I'll also be performing in it. The Barry Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages. Wow, that sounds like fun. Let's go, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I'll think about it.
Well, we need to get back to practicing right away. You'll be with Regent today.
What? The tiger? No way, no way, no way, no way!
It'll be fine. He's a good boy.
No way! There is no way it will be fine! Please cut me a break, boss! And there they go. But man, bravo, bravo. You really put on a good show today, Miles.
It's all thanks to you, Mr. Shields. Without your help, she might have gotten away. Not to mention allowing us to continue the investigation.
Ah, man, cut it out already. You're gonna make me blush.
I never know when you're being serious.
Uncle Ray is always serious. So how was it, Miles? How did it feel to be a defense attorney, to save people?
A defense attorney.
But that really took me back. It was just like being next to your old man again. It's been a while since I felt this good.
It was, well, it's somewhat difficult to say it was a good thing.
Come on, Miles. Are you sure you don't want to be a defense attorney?
What?
You know, pick up where your father left off. Don't you want to save people like he did?
What are you talking about, pal? Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor.
But is it really that unusual for a prosecutor to become a defense attorney these days? Unusual isn't the problem here. Hey, don't be so upset. It's normal, you know, normal.
It's not.
Normal, pal.
You'd all make for a powerful defense team. Mr. Shields, I am a prosecutor. And Uncle Ray's the defense attorney. That's why I'm being serious about this. Well, that's just my opinion. Feel free to drop by any time if you have a change of heart. I'll be waiting for you. Follow in my father's footsteps. Me, become a defense attorney. I'm gonna become a defense attorney, just like my dad! Should I become a defense attorney? Like my father? Ooh, where's this going? Where is this going? Wonder if we're gonna get a flashback. The inherited turnabout. I bet we are. Well, we're gonna have to find out next time. For now, I'm Chief. Thanks so much for following me all the way through the long-ass episode 2 of Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth Prosecutor's Path episodes 1 through 5 beta. Next time, we're gonna kick off episode 3 and maybe see what Greg's been up to in the past? I don't know. We'll see. Bye.